The first thing I heard was the scream, a jagged, wet howl that tore through the abandoned nuclear factory like a chainsaw through meat. It wasn't human. It couldn't be. My flashlight flickered, catching the rusted edge of a busted siren hanging from the ceiling, its cone dripping with something black and syrupy. I'd come here on a dare, $20 from my cousin Jake to snag a photo inside the old Dresden nuclear plant, shut down since the 90s after that meltdown nobody talks about. My sneakers crunched on broken glass as I edged deeper, the air thick with a sour metallic tang. I wasn't alone. I knew it the second that scream coughed into silence, replaced by a low, rhythmic thud, like a heartbeat in the walls. I'm no hero. I'm a 28-year-old line cook with a vape habit and a bad knee from a high school football injury. But I needed that $20 for gas, and Jake's smug grin when he bet I'd chicken out sealed the deal. The factory loomed an hour outside town, its cooling towers stabbing the sky like rotten teeth. I'd parked my beat-up Corolla by the sagging chain-link fence, slipped through a gap, and told myself I'd be in and out in 10 minutes. That was 40 minutes ago. The thudding grew louder, syncing with my pulse. I swung my flashlight toward a hallway lined with peeling paint and busted pipes. A sign dangled, Containment Level 3. My phone had no signal. Hadn't since I crossed the fence, but the camera still worked. I snapped a quick shot, the flash igniting the dark. That's when I saw her. She was crouched in the corner, knees tucked to her chest, hair greasy and matted like she'd crawled out of a storm drain. Her hoodie was stained, sleeves torn, and she was shaking, not crying, just trembling, like a junkie coming down hard. I froze. "Hey," I croaked, my voice too loud in the stillness. "You okay?" Her head snapped up, and I stumbled back. Her eyes were gone, just hollow sockets, wet and glistening, like something had scooped them out with a melon baller. She grinned, teeth chipped and smeared with that same black gunk I'd seen on the siren. "You're late," she rasped, voice bubbling like she was drowning in tar. I didn't think. I ran. My bad knee screamed as I bolted down the hall, flashlight beam bouncing wild. The thudding chased me, faster now, a galloping rhythm that shook dust from the ceiling. I hit a stairwell, took the steps 2 at a time, and burst into a cavernous room. Control panels smashed, chairs overturned, a wall of cracked glass overlooking the reactor core below. The air buzzed, electric and wrong, like standing too close to a power line. That's when my phone vibrated. I yanked it out, hands shaking. A text from Jake. "Where's the pic, coward? Sent 2 minutes ago." "How?" "No signal, no way." Then another buzz. "Look behind you." My gut twisted. I turned, slow, dreading it. The girl wasn't there. Instead, it was Jake. My Jake, standing 10 feet away, grinning that same smug grin, except his skin was gray, stretched tight over his skull, and his eyes were leaking that black syrup. "Told you you'd choke," he said, voice warped, like a radio stuck between stations. He lunged, faster than humanly possible, and I swung the flashlight. It cracked against his jaw, and his head snapped back, too far, 180 degrees, bones popping like firecrackers. He laughed, a wet gurgle, and straightened up. I bolted again, slamming through a door marked Emergency Exit. It dumped me into a concrete tunnel, damp and claustrophobic, the thudding now a deafening roar. My knee gave out, and I hit the ground, flashlight skittering away. In its dying beam I saw them, dozens of shapes lining the walls, human but not, hunched and twitching. Faces I knew, my high school coach, my ex-girlfriend Tara, the cashier from the gas station last week, all eyeless, all leaking black, all grinning. A hand grabbed my ankle, cold, slick, too many fingers. I kicked free, scrambling toward a sliver of moonlight at the tunnel's end. My phone buzzed again. Another text. "You can't leave." Not Jake this time. My own number. I burst out into the night, lungs burning, and saw my Corolla, doors open, engine running, headlights slicing the dark. Relief hit me like a drug. I sprinted for it, slid into the driver's seat, and slammed the gas. The factory shrank in the rear view, and I laughed, ragged and desperate. I'd made it. Then the radio crackled, static at first, then my voice, clear as day, singing a song I'd never heard. The dashboard clock blinked, 2:13 a.m. I'd gone in at 9 p.m. My hands tightened on the wheel as the passenger seat creaked. I didn't look. I couldn't, but I felt it, wet, heavy, breathing. A whisper slithered from my right. "You brought us out." My eyes flicked to the rearview mirror. The back seat was full. Jake, the girl, the cashier, all packed in, tight, grinning black drool pooling on the upholstery. My phone buzzed one last time. I glanced down. A photo loaded. Me, smiling, standing in the factory, My own eyes hollowed out. The car swerved. I screamed. The road ahead wasn't the highway. It was the factory's gate, wide open, welcoming me back. The thudding filled my skull, and the wheel turned itself.